Today, we're sitting down with 4 students of KCSOC to hear about their experiences and how KCSOC has changed their lives. Let's find out.
Hi, I'm Priyanshi. I'm at Warwick studying economics and modern languages, and I joined KCSOC last year. Exactly.
Cool. So my name's Arav. I'm a first year, going into second year student at Warwick. I study electrical and electronics engineering. I've been in KCSOC since roughly the beginning of first year, so around a year ago.
Hi, my name is Satvik. I'm a second year studying maths and statistics at Queen Mary, and I've been with KCSOC for almost a year now.
Hi, my name is Avni. I go to LSE and I'm studying PPE, and I've been in KCSOC for 1 year.
Why did you join KCSOC and what made you stay?
Well, initially I joined by mistake. So basically my friend was at one of the sessions and it was near the end of the session and I wanted to just go meet her. So I was just standing there in the doorway trying to peek in and see her when Yamir, our president at the time, he just came out to check the ladle for prashadam or something. And then he was like, "Oh, what are you guys doing here? Do you want to come in?" And I was like, no, it's okay. And he was like, "Oh, there'll be free food."
It's always a free food.
So then I was like, oh, he said free food and mantra meditation. So I went in and I was like, okay, let's go. And I was just mesmerized by the mantra meditation that day. It was so beautiful and I felt so connected. That's what made me come again. And then what made me stay was just the community. I felt like I'd found my people at KCSOC and I just felt home every single session. That's what made me stay.
Initially, just for the sort of like, just for the sake of it, I was like, I'll go to KCSOC, I'll try it out simply because I felt like I kind of have to kind of thing. But after attending, I felt very different. Like then once I went to the first 2 and I was like, actually, this is super interesting. I just went to everything after that. So yeah.
So like what part of it made you stay exactly?
I'll definitely say the community. I think more than just, Warwick, I love the Warwick community, but beyond that as well, like the overall, one thing that like really brought me on was their first day retreat. It's one thing coming from a background that's quite, Krishna conscious heavy, but on top of that, to see how it impacts so many people. Like when you come to a day retreat, there's so many people and it's insane. And you're like, how to see it really impact so many people is genuinely so inspiring. And to see, especially people who aren't at all like related to it at all, like it's something that is completely new for them, and yet they're so engaged. That was super inspiring to see, and it definitely inspired me. So yeah.
So growing up, I found myself growing up in quite a spiritual family. And so I did have a bit of exposure to what the Bhagavad Gita was and various gods in their teachings. But unfortunately, I grew up in an area where not a lot of people had similar values. So by the end of my A-levels, I found myself a bit confused about, am I interested in this? What do I want to do going to uni? How does this apply to my real life? And how can I apply it even when I'm working? By chance, at Freshers Fair, I came across Sarosh, our president at the time, and he really told me how there's some really great opportunities at KCSOC about finding out more into our scriptures, finding out about different teachings, and just meeting a really nice group of people.
So KCSOC kind of like covers all the bases: the philosophy, community, friends, everything.
Yeah, honestly, everything I wanted when I first came to uni.
Amazing. And what made you stay?
So, I'd say when I first came to uni, I was quite startled by different people's actions, the constant 5 a.m.s partying every night. This is something I'd kind of seen in films, but never actually met people who actually do these things. And I was a bit startled because I'm just surrounded by people who are not very similar to me. And I came to KCSOC a few times and genuinely, some of the most non-judgmental, kind, just welcoming people. And honestly, today, they're like my family, and it's a decision I can't regret.
Firstly, why did I join KCSOC? I went on the PS summer trip last year to Germany. I had an amazing time, and I found out that they do the University Initiative KCSOC there. And all the LSE committee really warmly welcomed me, and then I got involved like that. Why did I stay? I mean, the people are amazing. The community is so, so good, and I just can't imagine my life, I guess, at uni without these people and without these practices that I've learned.
Oh, that's nice. What has been your favorite KCSOC moment this last year?
So many to think of, honestly. But if I had to name one, I'd say when I went to the day retreat around February time, I got the opportunity to hear from Radhika Das. Now, unfortunately, I hadn't heard of him before this, but some people had told me he's a really special person who knows a lot. And when I just heard him speak, he was so calm, collected, and had a constant, just cheery smile on his face. And on top of that, getting to hear his kirtan was so magical. I'd honestly felt like I'd been transformed that night. And I've just always had so much passion and energy after that.
My favorite moment in KCSOC was in weekend retreat. It was the second day, no, it was the first day, the first full day. And we'd already done like the evening kirtan, which is beautiful. And then it was around like midnight when some people went to bed, some people went on a walk, some people were just chatting. And then some of us just went back to the kirtan hall and just randomly started playing mridangam and chanting. And then more people joined, and you joined that day as well.
Yes.
And then that kirtan was just like magical. And we were just like dancing and chanting until 2 a.m. in the morning. I think it was like 3 a.m. And that was just like the best moment ever. I
It
loved
was
it.
so fun, yeah.
So fun.
Well, that's a really tough question. Everything about KCSOC has been amazing, but I think my favorite moment was definitely summer trip this year in Sweden. I had the best time ever, and everything that we learned, the workshops, the talks, the kirtan, the views, everything was fantastic, and I just want to go back.
I quite enjoyed the second weekend retreat. I had the sort of, I got blessed, be honored with being able to do the emceeing for that event, which was really cool. And I think being part of like seeing the debates, that was really cool. I don't know if I remember exactly what they were talking about, but it was sick. It was like Nitesh Gore, he was debating a bunch of uni kids, and it was sick. I mean, I think especially like it's a very modern thing, like, because obviously on the internet we see that all the time with like on the internet you see Jubilee videos and stuff like that. So to see that sort of setting done with topics that were more relating to me was something really cool, or relating to spirituality rather, not relating to me, more relating to spirituality, which was really cool because it answered a lot of questions that I had as well. So yeah.
What has been your funniest moment so far in KCSOC?
My funniest moment. I know. My funniest moment, well, it's a series of moments, but now I'm in the exec, right? So I'm the social media coordinator. But even before that, I started taking photos of everyone at KCSOC just like for fun. And I loved turning those photos into stickers and making memes out of everyone. So those were my funniest moments in KCSOC.
So I remember one time we did a parody of Dragon's Den, and me and my team, we made a presentation that was just filled with mugshots of our president Sarosh. Along with that, I remember doing a freestyle with some ChatGPT made lyrics.
You did a freestyle?
Yeah.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I did do that. Let's hope no one finds the video. But yeah, it's honestly a really great moment.
I don't know about funny. I had a lot of embarrassing moments. During my first few weeks at Warwick, basically, I thought I could play mridanga. It turns out I can't. I thought I know, because I learned like a couple. I learned bits and pieces here and there, like growing up. So I thought, oh, I'll be fine. And Yamir, the KSOC president, when I was at work this year, he was like, oh, bro, 100% you'll be. He was gassing me up as well. Not that he'd ever heard me play. He was just like, oh, I'm sure you'll be able to do it. It did not go well. I actually didn't go to guitar circles for 3 weeks after that.
No way.
I was just so embarrassed. I was just like, I'm not going back there. Eventually I came back, begrudgingly, but yeah, no, it was, but that was a tough few weeks. I was really embarrassed.
The funniest moment for me in KCSOC was actually on last year's trip in Germany. Me and a couple of my friends, we'd gone to the river that was in the temple, and my friend dropped her phone and her earphones, and she just fell into the river. And honestly, the rest of us were just laughing our heads off. We felt bad, but it was honestly hilarious.
What is one thing you'd love to accomplish by this time next year?
So on a personal level, I think I want to think back to why did I get into spirituality? Think about why did I keep coming into KCSOC? And take that motivation and energy and apply it every morning when I wake up. Because, you know, it's very easy on a weekend or a day where you don't have lectures. I can just lay around, be on my phone, not be productive, not be focused. But I want to keep having that motivation and energy to just keep doing something every single day. Even if it's a small thing, it's going to build up eventually.
So I definitely want to, I think more than a full-on solid goal, because I mean, I could say like, oh, I want to get an internship, I want to do all these things. But like, I think more than that is I really want to develop a routine. So it's more about the type of person I want to become within a year. I want to be somebody who's more well-routine, somebody who's more organized, probably, you know, clear up my room more, I don't know. Something that makes, like, you know, be more organized as a person. And it's less about like solid things I want to achieve and more about the type of person I want to be. Because I feel like everything else comes with that, innit?
Yeah,
you have the stuff, like the type of person you are. Once you build that, then it's so much easier to work hard on whatever goals that you have. So I would say that. I would say be a more organized person, be somebody who's way better at like time management. So that I definitely want to get better at. I procrastinate so much. So yeah, I want to get better at that.
I guess one thing I want to accomplish by next year, not specific to KCSOC, but in a more general sense, is to just be more chilled out, to be calmer, to be able to sort of, you know, manage life a little bit better. You know, first year of uni is chaos, and there's so much to learn and so much to adjust to. KCSOC really helped with that, actually, and it gave me structure. But also, I realized that it is initially quite a bit to balance. So I think one thing I would like to do for next year is be able to be more chilled and manage my time and my emotions a bit better, so that I can give back a lot more to the community.
Oh, damn.
By this time next year, I'd love to deepen my connection with Krishna, and I want to feel his presence in every part of my life, and I want to feel him in my journey, in my career journey, in my personal journey, and just feel his presence. That's what I want.
That's such a sweet answer. How do you personally define happiness?
That's a really difficult question.
It's quite deep, isn't it?
It's very deep. I think one thing I've learned from more than happiness, but more from sadness, is that it's really, happiness can really be a choice.
Oh, wow.
Obviously not always. Sometimes you're just going through incredible, difficult situations. But I think for a lot of us who end up in quite privileged positions in life, for a lot of us, you know, even being in university, whatever walks of life that we might come from beforehand, the privilege we have to be in university and to have the access to the kinds of things you have while being in university, regardless of whether, you know, I'm broke at university or not. The fact that I'm there and have the opportunity to learn at a place like that, the time to focus on whatever, you know, goals and dreams I have, gratitude really can really change your perspective, because a lot of us who, you know, have been lucky enough to be in positions where we have things to be grateful for, being grateful for them is super important, because it also means you'll be able to understand the pains of others a lot better as well. When you're able to be grateful for what you have, you're able to understand what others around you might not have, and hence why they might be going through whatever they're going through.
I would say that it's more to do with like a lasting feeling of fulfillment and contentment, like being happy in and of yourself. I know that's a bit circular, but just sort of being at peace with what your situation is, what you have, not getting too swayed by like little events that happen in life. You know, just it's quite a steady, calming state.
So even in the ups and downs, you're still like in the middle and happy.
Yeah,
with-
you're like you're happy.
Yeah.
You're chill.
Personally, for me, happiness isn't about experiencing highs. Well, it's a part of it, but it's more about feeling content in the highs and the lows, and having people you love around you who are always with you throughout, and feeling Krishna's presence throughout, being able to feel content in any situation. That's what I think true happiness is.
For me, I think happiness is a flawed term in itself. So I don't think anyone can be happy all the time. You know, if you have some nice food, you know, you might be happy after that. You know, if you get a nice gift, you'll be happy from that. But, you know, if you fall over or injure yourself, or if you get a bad score on an exam, I mean, you're lying if you tell me you're happy even after something like that. I believe happiness is something that's just short term. I prefer the word blissfulness in the sense that you're satisfied with life and you have a higher understanding of what's important to keep you going every day, what struggles you don't go through.
What's one thing you want to say to your future self 1 year from now?
I would ask myself, have you found yourself yet?
I hope you work as hard as you said you're going to do, and not like, you know, just after 2 weeks crash out and just not do anything for the rest of the year. So, yeah.
Satvik, you made it through. Majority of the things you worry about, they never even happened. You made it through, you're all fine.
It's gonna be okay. Even if things get stressful, even if things don't seem to be going your way, it's gonna work out one way or another. Every redirection, every setback is ultimately a blessing, and everything happens for the greater good. So don't worry, chill out. It's gonna be fine.
What would be your advice to someone newly joining KCSOC?
I mean, university is a scary place. You leave, you know, a school that you've been with for maybe 7 years or 2 years. And, you know, such a big place in a new city, so many people, so many opportunities. KCSOC is a place where, honestly, you can find out more about what you want to do with your life. What makes you wake up every morning? What do you enjoy? What's your personality? What do you want to do in the future? So honestly, just, you know, please get involved. Even if you don't agree with what other people have to say, it's honestly great to just bounce knowledge off different people, understand how different people work and talk, and just have fun is the most important thing.
Take every opportunity you can to do whatever you want to do. For a lot of people, you're gonna have times when you feel like, oh, I can't be asked to do this. I'm too lazy to do this. I feel like I'm wouldn't be interested in this. And a lot of times you're gonna hear that in your head, and and when it pushes you to just not go to things, you're going to regret it afterwards.
Get to know as many people as possible. This association is so precious, and the people are genuinely so kind and loving, and they're there to serve you and help you in every way possible. So genuinely just get to know as many people as you can within KCSOC and try to do some service. Do one thing, whether that's, getting involved on your university's committee or even helping out at events like day retreats or weekend retreats. Even if you don't have an official role or title, that's fine. Just try help out some way, and that's the best way to sort of make your friendships, and these are going to be lasting friendships.
My advice would be to ask questions. Never be settled for any answer that doesn't sit right with you, and be on the pursuit to find your truth.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. If you're feeling inspired by how KCSOC has changed these students' lives, well, it can change yours too. Get involved by heading over to kcsoc.com, find your university, and send them a message to be a part of something meaningful. You'd love to accomplish by this time next year?
Oh, get a job.
I'd have to say my favorite KCSOC moment. And it was just me and a bunch of...
When you get asked a question like this, you can start thinking for like so long, what is happiness? What is happiness?
I remember every night I would try and go to my friends. I was like, oh, come guys, let's go for a walk.